Welcome, my two-piece fam followers. We are back in the chair talking about homecoming. It's homecoming mode, and we're talking about the differences about HBCU and PWIs, and the last episode was about HBCUs, and I hope you really enjoyed it and got a whole lot of information from it. But now we're going to talk about some PWIs, but I was just informed that my guest Leland here, say hey Leland,
hey.
He has the best of both worlds because he went to an HBCU and then he went to a PWI. So this is going to be a really interesting conversation. We're going to have fun with it. Comment below under this to tell me your thoughts, your questions, or anything of that nature. And then of course, hit the subscribe button so when we do the new episodes, you can you can get notifications when we drop new shows, and you can follow, and then you can send other people to the YouTube channel and check me out. So Leland, welcome to the show.
Thanks
Two Piece.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
So we just gonna go straight into it. Tell us a little bit about your educational background, because you said you went to an HBCU and a PWI, which I didn't know. So tell us about all of that.
All right. So again, I appreciate you having me on. Real short story. Could be a long story, but real short story. Started off at North Carolina Central. So I went to North Carolina Central on a full scholarship.
Eagles.
Yeah, go Eagles. Was there for a semester. Had some things happen. Let's just say some things. Some things happened.
Okay.
My parents thought it was in my best interest to go ahead and take me out of there. So ended up transferring to UNCG, which in all actuality was my first choice in the first place. Had family members that went to UNCG, and but I decided again to go to North Carolina Central because it was a full scholarship.
True.
But left the full scholarship behind, went to UNCG. Was there for my good 4.5 years.
Okay.
Pretty exciting times there. Did everything I could possibly do there. Pledged there. Was on student government there. A lot of leadership roles. So I had a pretty good time at UNCG.
Okay.
Graduated from UNCG with not the greatest GPA because I had.
But you graduated.
I graduated.
That's the first. Yep. That's the point.
But I had a really good time, which is why my GPA was what it was. Then I graduated from there, and then started looking around at grad school, and ended up at grad school at A&T. So
you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
there you go.
Did grad school at A&T, graduated from there, and been working ever since. But interesting kind of going from the black college to the white college and back to the black college. So I got to see all sides of it from all different levels.
So let's talk about that transition when you left Central.
Yeah.
And you went to UNCG at the PWI. Was that a culture shock for you?
The crazy thing is I think people sometimes get PWIs misrepresented when you start talking about cultural relations. You leave. I left a predominantly black school, right? Everything was black, from the door to the exit. Everything was black and pro African American culture. You go to a PWI, you see different things. Like you start to see the people with the blue hair or the frisbees and all that kind of stuff.
The hacky sack things outside.
You see all that. But there's a group of people, and that group of people that pretty much stay strong together are the black folks on campus. So you get welcomed into that group pretty quickly. It's not like they leave you out. You don't have to get hazed to get into it, to be a part of it. They welcome you in. And I had some advantages because at the time I had a person that was really close to me that was a member of Delta Sigma Theta that brought me in under her wing immediately to kind of help me get connected. But just about anybody that comes in, you're welcomed in the door, and making sure that everybody that's of light colors are taken care of. Let me just say that you don't have to alienate yourself. You don't wander around trying to figure out where you're going to fit in. You got this group of people that you can start with right there. So we had a pretty good time at just making sure that I was comfortable, and so it wasn't really much of a culture shock for me.
Okay. So going from a HBCU to a PWI, homecoming time, homecoming season. At a HBCU, that is one of the top 3 to 4 amazing things that happen on campus.
Right.
At a PWI, what happens during homecoming? How do you prepare at a PWI for homecoming?
You don't.
You don't? Oh,
No.
oh, dang.
Yeah, there's no.
There's no preparation.
So
Okay.
I went to a school that didn't have a football team.
Okay.
So we had a soccer team.
All right.
Crazy thing is, we still had homecoming during the same season everybody else has homecoming.
Okay.
Like we didn't have a winter homecoming like some of the schools do. We
Yeah.
had homecoming during the fall, usually 2 or 3 weeks before A&T's homecoming.
Okay.
So the big soccer game,
Okay.
where we would go possibly to the game for a few seconds. But
A few seconds? Wait a minute, wait. You said a few seconds.
Yeah, no, I'm about to go into a soccer game.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny, I grew up playing soccer. I love soccer. But
Okay.
we weren't going to the game. That's not
All
what we
right.
were doing for homecoming.
Okay.
For us, the African American side of the school, we would have step show. So you still have your homecoming step show.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of have a homecoming concert. Wasn't anything big or major, but we
Right.
still have a couple of artists. They would bring some artists in for us. We had a great multicultural affairs director.
Okay.
Someone in student affairs who again was a member of Divine Nine, who
Okay.
understood exactly what we were trying to do. So
What was needed.
Yeah, but and then even going back now, we have those same things, so very similar things, and now of course you have the black party or some big party that you have. So now you got the block parties that are happening during the day, which
Right.
include everybody.
Right.
But then that African American side of the house, we have our black party.
Gotcha.
So
is that where it comes where you have the Black Student Alumni or the Black Student Union and then the regular student union, and the Black Student Union does something different versus the regular student union?
Well, so it's weird because, and I may be wrong, but I don't really remember using the term Black Student Union.
Okay.
We just were black people. We had I guess it was called Neo-Black Society is what we had.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
we didn't really have a Black Student Union. We had a group, but most of us, not most of us, a good amount of us were D9.
Okay.
And since you're D9, that puts you kind of all over the campus.
Correct.
And you're in leadership roles. Now you have access to people in student affairs or in the student union where you can actually plan things for everybody and make sure that our side of the house was taken care of. So 'cause we were the ones. So UNCG is a big suitcase college, which means on the weekends everybody's going home, with the exception of the black folks.
So they just stay in town.
We stay in town either one because we don't want to go home, 2, don't really have the money to do so, or 3, you got the camaraderie right there. You'll find something to do on
Correct.
campus. So,
and then of course A&T is not far from you guys.
Yeah, we ain't fool with A&T too much.
Oh yeah, I don't fool with them.
No,
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
For no reason other than we didn't know. I mean, the facilities at the time, our facilities were a little bit better. They had better parties, better things to do.
Okay.
We just had better facilities, so we just kind of stayed where we were. They came to us. We'd hang out on our campus, but most cases, again, we just all kind of stayed ourselves because it was part of the isolation, right?
Yeah.
It was, our culture was to look out for each other. When other people came on campus, you didn't put them in front of the people that were there, so you just made sure you took care of them.
Right.
Everybody was already.
Okay. So was there any type of preparation after you graduated from UNCG, and then when you went to grad school, you went to North Carolina A&T State? So you are, what is UNCG? What is their mascot?
Spartans.
The Spartans. So you're a Spartan and you're an Aggie.
I'm a Spartan and an Aggie.
So when Spartans got something going on, okay, cool, you're going to support them, but then A&T has something going on, you are straight Aggie pride.
Yes.
And going from there to grad school, you're in another age of decade, and you're in another age of pay grade and all that stuff like that. Did you attend homecomings there?
I've been to A&T's homecoming one time since I graduated from school.
Okay.
How
did you prepare for that?
Because
Because it's one of those things.
You just got traffic. There's no preparation for the traffic. The camaraderie is just different. You know, when you hit the campus, when you pull into Greensboro and you get closer to the campus, you can actually start to feel the spirit coming from the school. Like it's incredible. I mean, it's not even
you feel the love already while you're driving in.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Getting out and walking around and being a part of it anywhere on campus is one of those things where you can look and just like, man, this is dope. Like there's no feeling like it. I can be honest with you and tell you there's no feeling like it. Would I ever do it again? Yeah, I don't know. It gets to be a bit much. The older you get, it's more to it.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have an undergraduate experience there, it makes it a little different too. I didn't really keep up with people from grad school. Undergraduate experience is a whole lot better.
Absolutely.
So because I had an undergraduate experience at UNCG, and UNCG is starting to take its homecoming and really turn it around and make sure that there are more activities. I think it's more visitation, more student related, where you know people can come, be a part of it, and just kind of experience the campus.
Yeah.
I like that a little bit better.
How are they changing that experience?
Well, so they're doing a little bit more to make sure that things are more on campus.
Okay.
So like at one point, the black party we were having was actually on the yard, which was interesting. Really? Right, because you know we could really do things on campus, and it was another one of those things where it was very similar to what the undergraduate experience was like, where we had the parties on campus on Fridays or Saturdays. So this was very much closer to that experience. And I mean, they're just making sure that it's more family friendly. You know, it's if I had to compare the two, I could take my family to UNCG and we could have a better time because you can move around, you can experience things. You know, you're not in a whole lot of lines, you're not in a whole lot of traffic. Not really tense. We'll just say there's consumption of beverages is completely different.
It is.
Yeah, so,
it is.
So it's a little more family friendly now.
Correct.
When you go to A&T
or any other HBCU, it's a little bit on a different level. It's more live. It's more explicit.
Yes.
It's more PG-13-ish.
17-ish.
In a way,
nowadays.
17-ish.
Yeah.
It can be family friendly to an extent.
Certain aspects.
But then after a certain time, after 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we're going home.
Yeah. It's time to take the kids home because it's about to change.
Right.
It's about to change.
The game, the football game itself, and the band. You know that's still great. Actually, I'm going to Howard's homecoming this year.
Are you?
Taking my son to Howard's homecoming.
DC.
That's going to be different because I heard that was a little different, but
it is.
That's where my son wants to go to school, so I'm taking him so he can get a full experience. Okay. He's actually going to GHO too.
Is he? So he's going to see the difference.
Yeah, that's his 1 and his 2, so he gets
1 and 2.
And I'm sure that's how he's going to
make his decision. How homecoming is.
Right.
Okay. Right. Gotcha. So is the different preparation of PWI versus HBCU is totally different.
Right.
Totally different. We're going to take a spin around. How is D9 life on PWI versus HBCU life? Right.
So that's very interesting because you know we deal with that on an adult level all the time. So D9s on HBCU, it's a little more historically rooted, right?
Okay.
So those chapters are generally older than most of the chapters at the PWIs.
Okay.
Especially in the state of North Carolina. I mean, you know, they're generally older. It is a lot more family oriented again. You know, mom, dad, cousins, all a part of the organization. You came to the school, you knew exactly what you were going to do.
Right.
It is, you know, it's not a lot of recruiting. You know, you've got thousands of people, you know, trying to get into these 9 different organizations where the intake numbers can be from 5 or 6 to nowadays we see 80, 90, you know.
True.
At those
Very
black
true.
campuses. Where the difference is at PWIs, people show up and don't really know what the organizations are. So
They
you
don't
have
know the history.
Right. You have your student activity fairs where you pretty much walk down a street, everybody has a table set up, and you stop and talk to people, and you figure out who they are.
Right.
Say, hey, I like them. And then you know, as a member of those organizations, you start recruiting those people.
But then at a PWI, don't you guys have houses and different separate areas from the campus and things like that?
No. Well, not my organization.
Okay.
Well, not at my school. Let's just say that.
Well, let's say the white organizations.
Yeah, they
have
yes.
houses
Yep.
versus the actual D9, like
Right.
Alpha Alpha, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi.
Right. Some those
Omega Psi Phi. Things of
those
that.
the non-Panhellenic, the white
Correct.
fraternities and sororities do have houses. Some
Okay.
of them do
Right.
have houses. They have their rush week, which is you got a whole bunch of different people going to meet these different fraternities and sororities, and they can just go be a part of it. Doesn't necessarily take a whole lot of interaction with them to be a part of it.
True.
Now with the D9s,
It's a lot.
you're
It's
going,
a lot.
You're going to the different events. You
It's
get
a
to know
lot.
somebody,
You got to be in
hang with
face.
somebody. Yeah, you got to make sure you got the recommendations. And,
Yeah.
And like I said, honestly, we recruit. You see the top students. You look at the top African American students. You look at their GPA. You know what they're doing on campus. You look at people's favorability numbers on campus and how many people are dealing with them. And
Yeah.
and we talk to those folks.
Yeah.
And, then you introduce them to what the organization does.
True.
And start to educate them on that. And then most people don't really get the history of the organization until they're part of the organization. And it's not like at HBCUs, you know what you're coming into. And a lot of times with these D9s on the PWIs, folks are coming on the campus, don't necessarily know, but they're still looking for that brotherhood. They're still looking to be a part of something that makes a difference. And so they see these organizations and they see what we're doing because, the lens is focused on us. We're the leaders.
Right.
So the lens is focused on us. They see what we're doing and they want to be a part of it.
So the culture is totally different from
absolutely.
PWIs to HBCUs. When it's a rush on a PWI campus, everybody is boom, boom, boom. They can
Right.
just come and they'll know about the history later.
Yep.
Versus the HBCU, you got to know the history before so you can make a decision on
Right.
where you fit in, and this is what the principles
Yes.
you want to focus on. Because with A5A, I am an AKA, you are manly deeds and scholarship.
Right.
And other organizations are different things. So, on a HBCU, you have to know that before
Yes.
you go into the rush or the smokers or whatever you want to call the interest meetings and things
Right.
like that. So it's a difference. So it's a totally difference from homecoming and D9s and just the culture and different things. So you had both of those experiences and you got both of those experiences.
Right. Yeah. So and I was able to. And I guess a lot of people are still able to do it, but I was able to take it from a PWI, go back to a black school, and see people that I knew from school, and they're like, oh well, you didn't seem like you wanted to do that when you were here, because again, you're just at a situation where if you don't necessarily know a lot about it, you kind of keep to yourself.
Right.
You try to figure it out.
Right.
Get to the PWI, people are talking about it, you see it, it's right there in your face, you can start
more
studying,
open.
you understand it. So I was able to go back and forth, and really, it's helped me out now because now I'm the NPHC president in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So all the D9s from all the different schools, all the different people, I'm able to interact with all of them because I understand the undergraduate experience across the board.
Right.
Being a part of all of these parts of it.
Right. So going forth with you saying your son is going to two HBCUs, he's not even looking at a PWI or anything like that. What are you instilling in him for the culture? With you having both cultures and he's just only looking at one.
Yep. So, I don't know how I'm able to say this correctly, but I tell him that black people are black people everywhere.
Okay.
You know, you'll at a PWI, they're just as black as they're going to be at an HBCU. The difference is where people are coming from and what they're focusing on. And it doesn't matter what school you're at, you're going to have to figure that out immediately. So, you know, I tell them you're going to have an opportunity if you have a larger net of people to choose friends from at an HBCU.
Right.
You have a smaller net if you're just looking for black people at a PWI, and you have to be more careful about who you're talking to and what you're doing, because the circles are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you know, my job is to make sure he understands that education is first. Secondly, get your cultural experience, because that's what's going to make or break your college experience. If you're not able to find a place in that school where you fit culturally, educationally, financially, whatever it is he's looking for, you know, it's to go find that there. Can he find it? Will they help him find it at a PWI? Some people will. Sure. At HBCU, they focus on making sure you're able to find that. They do a better job of making sure that nobody's left outside, and, you know, coming up with different things for people. Now, again, depending on what your appetite is where you're going to go get it from. You can either get it from the HBCU or you get it from the PWI. And he's chosen HBCU because he's grown up in a situation where he's gone to schools, he's seen different things. We've taken him on tours everywhere. It's not like we're just saying all HBCUs. Just HBCU,
you're giving him the best of both worlds.
We want him to see what good education looks like. And the whole point is the two, A&T and Howard, that he's looking at, great education. So, you know, we're starting good education first, then we're going to experience. And so,
absolutely.
I think he'll be ready for it either way.
I think that's a good structure. So, my two-piece family, I want to thank Leland for being on the show. My good frat brother, my good talk brother. Learn the different cultures. HBCU, PWI, no matter what it is, education is key. And whatever culture your kid or you have experienced, it's a unique one, and it's a good one, because you're going to manifest what you want to in the future for anybody else that you come in contact with. Especially being a part of the D9, you have that long life interaction and connection regardless on what campus you go on, no matter what campus you go on. So HBCU, PWI, no matter what, just get in there. Enjoy it. Education is key. Fun times. Family is family. Your college family becomes your second family, no matter what. And just get there. Enjoy it. Have fun. Homecoming season is what it is. No matter what homecoming you go to, you're going to have a good time regardless. You're going to enjoy the culture. You're going to get a fulfillment on what you need. So, again, I want to thank Leland for coming and being here with me and my two-piece family. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. As I always say, shades on, glasses up. Where we're going next.